Nick, when were you aware that James was going to be back today?
I was made aware last night.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, last night.
What was he able to do, or just throughout practice?
Well, he was here. He was in some of the stuff early. Obviously, we're doing a lot of game prep stuff, so that he didn't take part in much of that. It was a pretty short practice at that. So he was in the practice at the start, and he was there at the end. But we had to get ready for our game tomorrow with the guys that we're going to be playing.
So he's not traveling.
No, well, he's been gone 10 days, so we are in ramp up phase again. So he will, like we would normally do, he will stay here, get on court work with our staff and with our players from the Blue Coats and our two-way guys and things like that, and try to get him ramped up as soon as we can.
I guess who makes that decision in terms of his readiness, or who's the group of people that makes that?
Well, I would say that decision comes down to Simon and his team, our medical people, right? They've got, it's part of the reason he'd be here. We've got all the finest, technology to figure out exactly where he's at and where he can get to and all those kind of things. So their team.
How did he take it, Nick? Because how did he take it? Was he disappointed? I mean, of course he wants to get back in shape, but is he disappointed that he's not going on a trip with the guys?
He is fine, right? He understands he's got to get ramped up, and obviously, like I said, he's been gone for 10 days, so I think he understands it. He wants to get back to playing live full court basketball.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yep.
Do you expect him to be ready in time for the home opener on Sunday?
I would say that we are probably going to have to evaluate this these next couple sessions. I would say it's back to our day by day, maybe 2 day by day right now. We just need to see what the information tells us in 2 days.
Are there any concerns? Like you said, day by day, but are there any concerns that things could go left?
Like in what way? What do you mean?
In what way of maybe James not buying in before he bought in early on, but he left, he came back. Are there any concerns that he could be a little disruptive?
My concerns right now are really going to be focused on the game tomorrow night. Like, we've put a lot into this, and we're in a great space, I think, mentally and preparation-wise and all that stuff. It's what I'll continue to do. Like, if there's any concerns, or if and when they arise, whatever, then we'll handle them. But I really think our guys are not very affected by it, right? They're working hard. They're extremely focused. They're getting through the game plans, at a really good rate. So I'm happy with where we are. Yep.
Kelly was just explaining that he's about to start year 9. Some of these guys are about to start year 1, but the idea of sort of treasuring the opportunity of starting a year in the NBA. How did it feel to you to start another year in the NBA?
Really good. I don't think about it much. There's a lot, going into the early prep for this game. Just it's kind of like an exam in college, right? At some point you got to stop studying, but you just want to keep kind of going over and over and over it and things like that. But so I didn't really think about it today, but one of our assistant coaches started the practice today saying, whatever year it is for you in the NBA, everybody in this circle, let's be thankful, man. Congratulations. Let's go. We're here for another year. So what is this, year 6 for me as a head coach? So I'm thankful. I'm honored to have this position, one of 30 in this city, in this team. I'm fired up for it. Yep.
What can the fans expect out of this team tomorrow night?
Well, hopefully we're going to play really hard, right? We're going to play really hard, and with the spirit that we've shown in practice and the togetherness that we've shown. And I just, that's kind of my job. If I can leave the game understanding we fought, understood the game plan that we were trying to execute, and got some of it done. I always say if we can get this stuff done, we have a really good chance, and then just battle all the way, right? So that's it. I would expect a lot of guys, again, have been touching the basketball and doing a lot of different things. I would expect somebody to really have an interesting night tonight, and then the next night maybe somebody else, all those kind of things. So we're going to try to figure out who those people are going to be and what the rotations look like, but mainly we just need to go out there and compete at a super high level.
Nick, in your career, you've talked about playing without fear, the team playing without fear.
Yep.
Daniel House on Media Day described it as playing with courage. What does that look like to you?
Well, I think that mostly it looks like that you're ready to take in rhythm shots. First, if you want to talk about the offensive end, like you know what that rhythm feels like, and it comes out and like you're ready to pull the trigger. That's the first thing. And then on the other end, that you just will not back down from your matchup. Like no matter how great, how big, how strong, how athletic, how whatever they are, but you're going to get in there and fight, because everybody ends up on everybody in this day in the NBA. So those two things. Yeah.
From what you've seen, is this team ready to contend for a championship?
Well, I think that we got a long way to go. I really like the pieces that we have. I think there needs to be some growth there. I love what we have right now, but give me 20 games or so and come back to me with that question. But I certainly think it's a viable one to ask. Yep.
With whatever reason James provided for his absence, is there confidence that he won't need more time away from the team?
You know what? I think that confidence in anything in this situation of like what's going to happen, we can all sit around and guess and talk about that every day, and we really don't know. I mean, and I hate to keep saying like, who knows what tonight's going to bring and tomorrow's going to bring and all that kind of stuff with where we're at on this. So we'll just keep taking it day by day.
Yesterday you talked about the complexities of guarding the Bucks on offense.
Yep.
Defensively, they've got Giannis and Brook
Yep,
Lopez
yep.
to make things tough for you. So how do you game plan for what those guys can do?
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes it a little bit interesting. Is obviously like coached against these guys a lot, but it was under a different coach the entire time, pretty much. So I got to see a little bit of what their schemes are, if they've changed a bit. I mean, you know that Lopez hangs out in the paint and hangs out at the rim, all that kind of stuff. I wasn't able to get a really great read from the preseason, just because they just played so little and had such, so many different combinations out there of what I think it would probably look like tomorrow. So we're going to be learning a little bit of that on the fly. But you gotta. There's obviously some great rim protection with both those guys, right? They year in, year out. They just have the size, length, and ability, the know-how, how to protect the rim. So there is some game planning in that. I mean, if me or you were driving down the lane and Giannis was sitting there, it would probably not a good idea to challenge him, right? I know that sounds really simple, but that's the time you gotta look for something else. But if it's somebody else in their team that isn't one of those two guys, then we do have to stay aggressive and attack them a little bit. So. Kind of have to see how it plays out a little bit tomorrow, but we'll make our adjustments as we go. Yep.
We talked about it a lot with Joel, with the tempo that you
Yep.
want to play with, and
Yep.
then also it feels like this team is maybe a little more athletic, a little bit faster than maybe some iterations of teams in the past. So how do you think Joel has kind of adjusted to all of that so far?
Well, I think that pretty good. I would have said that. I mean, you guys saw the game, and in the first half, he looked. He hadn't been in a game for several months, right? That happens to everybody in their first game. But he looked like he was pretty winded. But then in the second half, like he didn't want to come out, and he was playing, I thought, with great pace and both ends was. We got him out switching. You guys probably saw on the front. He was playing hard, and he ran 12 straight. And said he wanted a couple more. I said gave him 3 more, and then he wanted to keep going. But I was like, okay, that's enough. So he was. I think he kind of got his second wind and some legs obviously underneath him there as we went. So that right at this stage, I'm pretty encouraged that he's gonna be playing with some intensity on the defensive end first and foremost, and running the floor a little bit.
Thanks, guys.
Yep.
Thanks,